I'm bored. Let's read a book. Oh! The sun hung like a golden platter over the black stone wall that separated the Brotherhood's enclave from the seaport. That wall that seemed to be so low from the Brotherhood side and so imposing from the market square below. Even though it was but a few days past midsummer, the grass remained crisp and green, the air clean, and the nights cool. The result of the eastern current, according to Samuel. I hadn't thought much about it, not until Magistra Tirana started in with her maps and lectures on geography, and how the placement of the mountains and currents affected the weather. Then she got into how geography determined where cities and towns were, and why places like Fenard, the capital of Galos, sat on the edge of the hills leading to West Horns because the higher elevation made the city more defensible, and the two small rivers provided power for the mills. The only interesting bit was how the imposition of order and chaos at what she called critical nodes could change whole weather patterns. That partially explained why some of the Brotherhood ships patrolled certain segments of the northern waters. But her lectures were like everything else, a piece of knowledge here, another one there, whole lot of boring repetition in the middle. So I sat with my back against a small red oak and watched the puffy clouds in the eastern skies begin to darken from a white to a pinkish gray, just because I tried to see if I could discover the patterns behind the clouds, trying to look beyond their surfaces. Again, I could see the faint heat shadow-like images I had seen around the strange Brotherhood ships, but the ones in the clouds were natural. How I could tell the difference? I didn't know, but I did. After a while, my eyes began to ache, so I closed them and began to listen. There were other Danger Guild groups around. We met in the quarters and sometimes talked over dinner. They weren't much different, except they looked to be in better shape, and they all seemed distant. Friendly, understanding, but distant. Two of them were seated on a bench on the other side of the hedge, their voices carried. Brista, that's what they say. At least it's not Hammer. Take Hammer over Kandar, home of the Chaos Masters. Emperor of Hammer likes some order. Cassius had mentioned that Kandar was one of the most chaotic of the major continents. Tamara said that was because it was closest to the Recluce, and there had been to be balance. Cassius frowned, but hadn't corrected her. That meant she had been right. So what else was new? From Friven to Kandar, the Chaos Wizards ruled most of the world, until they'd created a new sun in the sky and melted most of the capital's buildings and people like wax. Although that had been generations ago, the people probably hadn't changed that much. Could I join you? I almost jumped, opening my eyes with a start. That musical voice belonged to Crystal. Sure, I'm not certain I'm much company. That makes two of us. Tucked her feet under her and set her down with a cubit of grass between us, shrugging her shoulders as if to loosen her flated blue tunic. The long hair was bound up with silvered cords. When she wasn't giggling, or fiddling with her hair, I enjoyed watching her. She was as graceful as Tamara, but without the arrogance. And behind the giggles, I suspected there was more strength than either of us knew. Dim, the chime from the temple echoed once, calling those of the Brotherhood who wished to join the evening meditation. I wasn't about to, and I noticed that Magister Cassius never did either. Crystal did not move, but the two men on the bench of the far side of the hedge left. They're probably going to give thanks for being sent to Brista instead of Kandar. The words popped out of my mouth. Where do you think we'll be sent? Kandar, I opened. You're usually right. About the facts. She looked down the grass. I straightened into a sitting position and stopped leaning against the oak. Both tree and ground were very hard. The clouds above the eastern horizon showed gray, and the breeze from the west picked up, ruffling my hair. A hint of Trillia tickled my nose, bittersweet orange. What will happen to us? I shrugged. I don't know. It seems like we're a strange lot, but I suppose all danger gelders are. Merton's a thief, but how he lasted so long. Rin's really a soldier, probably belongs in the border guard. Samuel's a missionary in a land that already has a faith that doesn't place compassion above order. Tamara hates men, and half the world is male. Dorothy, I just don't know. And you? Me? I shrugged again. I didn't want to talk about me. Like Cassius says, I'm easily bored. What about you? I think you're bored because you want to know everything and you don't want to admit it. The second chime from the temple rang, indicating the evening meditation had begun. What about you? I asked again. Me? Crystal giggled just slightly. I frowned. You don't like it when I giggle. No. I looked over her shoulder and down the grassy stretch toward the small garden just before the wall. Dorothy and Merton were seated on opposite sides of the bench, playing some sort of card game that figured Merton would find something with odds in it anyway. I was contracted, you know. He didn't mind the giggling too much. I'm sorry. I hadn't thought about that. I was young. What about if Koldar or Corso had been picked for Danger Guild? Crystal was announcing that the brothers had pulled her away from her husband/lover, just like that. I'm sorry. Don't be. There's a good excuse to leave. He'll be happier. I already am. Just leaving? I couldn't imagine my mother walking away from my father. You look at my hair. You see my breasts. So do all men. Your looks are honest, at least. Her voice was low, almost whispery, yet still musical. True, I admitted. She readjusted her position in the grass. Somehow the readjustment got her almost next to me. Do you think about what I feel? Actually, I was wondering how she would feel to hold and touch. But that wasn't what she meant, not at first. Oh, Laris, her voice died off. We sat there as the darkness drifted down upon my own. Would you just hold me? Her voice was like a child's. I did, and that was all I did. Not that I didn't think about more, especially later that night alone in my bed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of these videos. See you on the next one. Goodbye.